What is up, Work here, and today we're checking out week 7 and going into the vault for my main alt, who is not very geared, my mage, my frost mage here, and we're checking out the vault. We didn't get a lot done last week. I think we did some LFR, but we do get a pretty interesting staff. That's a great staff. If it wasn't LFR level, we don't really want a 460 version of it compared to what we have otherwise. Some tier pants. Again, this is all LFR. No thanks. And we do have a heroic trinket, which I then have to go look up what's good for Frost other than Bellarelleros, that the Tingle trinket. I forget what it's called. That's of course really good, but like, how good is Mirror? I go check it out on u.gg, I think. We'll see that the staff is good if it's, high level. And that at least Mirror shows up at all, so that's what we're going for. It's a heroic level trinket, and for us, at this extremely low item level, this is a rather large upgrade. Look at the trinket it's replacing. Yeah, this is a fresh character here, a true rat. So we're back on our main now, the Paladin, and we've been doing we're pretty much, a holy main for raid. Do some holy for keys, and then I would say I'm mostly a ret main for keys. So I'm actually vaulting as ret. And we get, just to let you know, pretty much garbage for us here as far as upgrades. We already have heroic gloves. Crit haste are, those are good for holy, but stats wise, we're actually starting to hit our caps, and we're looking to get away from crit haste. Sometimes a little bit more diverse for me. I have that sword already, legit from raid. This is a horrible trinket. These are crit mastery, which there's no spec crit mastery is good for. Again, we could maybe move some stats around, not good. And again, crit mastery, not what you want on a neck. This week I'm actually going to craft a lariat. So what we're going for is just some tokens so that we can have some more sockets. So later in the week I do craft a lariat, and the lariat's a good move for Holy Paladin, and it's actually really good for Prot too. So we're going to buy our first socket maker of the expansion, and we're going to be putting the socket on my crafted crit haste, I believe, Holy Paladin Bis crafted bracers, so we'll be using that quite a bit. I hop right into a 23 Everbloom, I believe, and this is the first pull. I was trying to help kick these in, and now I've got the stinger dot on me. I'm surprised I haven't bubbled yet. And we're just trying to kick this last one in, and here we go. We are off to the races doing this key. So this week, as far as healing and getting it into, 23, 24, even some 25s, has started to certainly bring up some issues as far as it comes to my gameplay as a healer and gameplay overall. And this dungeon is definitely the place where it started to show itself quite a bit. This boss, not a problem. Council boss, not really a problem now that we know how to play it. However, the hardest pack in this dungeon is this right here. These 3 mages on a high fortified are awful. The misplay here for me is that I'm playing in at range, and then that goes off, and I am not helping with the kicks here. And the problem with this pack is that they have to be solo kicked. I don't think I got that one. They have to be like actually kicked. They can't be like AoE stunned or anything like that. The normal tactics. They're kind of a special pack. And if you misplay this pack at a high enough key, that's what it looks like. And so that was, a humbling experience there. It's only on retrospect that I'm looking at it now, seeing what actually happened there. When you're healing and stuff like that happens and people are dying, you're just like, wow, I am awful at healing. But it's not just you're awful at healing, you're also awful at kicking. Again, that was the main reason that went wrong. But it did trigger some sort of introspection as far as how do you heal this stuff? Because at the higher levels, it starts to get a little bit a little bit harder. So we go into an easy 21, and what do I get as a key? A 24. A 24 um, Everbloom. So we will be back at that dungeon. So after that Everbloom and kind of just like, reassessing what's going on, I'm healing some lower keys. We do 22 Dark Heart Thicket, which is actually at the last boss is kind of hard to heal in my opinion. I think the feed is pretty scary, but I go on to do about like 8 or 9 Throne of the Tides, and on the very last one, because I stop after, I end up getting the Sea Star, which I end up talking a very nice boomy into giving me, and that is a rather good trinket. It's a ton of verse, and then a int proc. So that's what I'm going to be running. Healing. I have my brand new gear. I'm feeling real good. I run into a 20 Ataldazar, which, like, how could you ever die in an Ataldazar? Well, the whole group dies on this trash pull, and then I died too. So this is a good reminder that gear is certainly not everything, but it felt better, or I felt better after having my new Sea Star trinket. So we're heading back into the eventual 24 Everbloom, and we're going over this skip. We're just running into Mythic 0, and this new route that our tank has put together avoids almost all the abominations. It's a really good, fortified route. And what I'm trying to learn here is how to jump over this tree, because this is the skip required. If you can double jump it, it's a lot easier. And if you can stealth it, that's fine. We're not allowed to use invisbots because we need to use them for damage. And I do eventually learn how to do this little jumpy skip here. So time well invested into learning how to do this route. Let's get into this 24. So I'm a little bit spooked healing it. I actually didn't review like I should have the VOD. I'm only reviewing it now and realizing that it is these single kicks where things start going wrong. If any of those casts go off, which they did, people just start dying. And it's not really like, at this level, it's not necessarily, it's like probably not healable. So it's actually mostly a kicking issue. On top of, I believe, I'd have to look again. I think I did the first dispel of the affix, but then the second dispel didn't get handled, and then I didn't heal it. So it was kind of a miscommunication / we just let one of them go off. So a couple of things going wrong. So this new route, tactics have to be taken to do higher Everblooms. We can't just YOLO through it time-wise. So we end up going to the left side, which is pretty new. Most PUG routes are not going to pull this left part. We kill all that, and then we're going to take the caster that's in that little treehouse, that cute treehouse, and we're going to drag that caster into this pack and kill this pack. So that left side's pretty different. It's the same normal first pull, but we mostly hug the left side, and we have to skip some bug patrol, and of course, the big patrol there. What you'll see here is a new tragedy that hasn't happened before, but it makes sense. The tank's going to go round up some flowers, and what has happened, but my consecration has pulled the boss. I don't control consecration going down, but apparently if you kill the trash and just get unlucky and have a consecration go down, you will pull the boss after. So we talked about it. If we do this again, it's like maybe we try to kill those caster packs if I'm here, not on top of the boss, because I can't really control if I'm going to. I don't think I can. My consecration just casts doing the affix there. Anyway, we're considering like maybe we should pull this somewhere else if I'm here because I can't control that ground AoE and then the boss is going to pull. We go to the left here, skipping a patrol, and now we're going to do the sneaky route here. Mulewater's trying to do the old way, which doesn't work anymore, of like climbing up the hill. We see that one of the patrols has been imprisoned there, which is tech that I can't do when I'm tanking. So I don't think I'll be doing this route as prop paladin. I'll do something similar. And I'm watching that abomination patrol, and it's the moment of truth. Can we get over the tree? We can. Everyone gets over, and we've done well. I would like to say that at this point that I have learned something new. We have a new route. This new route is doing great. We have 20 minutes left at this point, and with most of our groups at this point, this boss is not a problem. What does turn out to be a tiny bit of a problem this week, however, is the affix. That's not a very good drop off of the pools, however we get it down. The affix forces us to play comps that were not necessarily what we would want to do the dispels, but that's a different story. So how does this one go if I am Ret here? So I'm pretty sure I've heavy defensive that, the first AoE, and I'm in there hopefully doing kicks. Okay, that's certainly one going off. I'm on star, and let's see if I actually get any kicks off on this. There's a frostbolt. So some kicks are happening. I'm not positive we have assignments and what was going on here, but we are doing slightly better than when I was healing it. Again, there's healing, but then there's just kicking everything. And so this has had slightly more kicks than before. I'm doing the affix. And there's certainly a bubble committed if it's now or I'm not sure when. Ah, I see. Okay, so certainly, I think some kicks didn't go out, and it's a tricky one. And then the affix went off, sealing everyone's death for sure. But what I will say is that we killed the fire mob, which meant we could run back, and it wasn't all that bad. So progression on like the medium high Everbloom keys continues. It is, it's a tricky one. Mostly that pack right there. Next week, Tyrannical. The boss will be the hard part, not them. We do this little skip here, which saves a little bit of time. Pretty nice. We have 7 minutes left to do this. And people do die to that mage pack all the time. I've watched it on higher keys with like the best groups. People still die there. Those hit pretty hard because they're doing like 27s or 28s or something. Whatever key you're doing it at hurts pretty bad. We do, unfortunately, sort of chain die to this boss. There's a lot of damage going out, and it is not played perfectly by the group. However, we do kill it, and I do feel like I have learned quite a bit about Everbloom. I can do the skip now, and I feel better going into this key at around this level next week or whenever we run it again. For the last key review here, we're running into a 24 fall. And I just wanted to show this. This is just my first time. I'm pretty sure this is my first time without a shroud or anything like that. Just invis potting the first pack. And so that we can only do the bottom pack plus the 2 spinnies on top of boss. And this is the way that we want to usually do this place for time. This is the most efficient way of getting it done. It is pretty annoying as melee to have uptime here. Because you're just constantly having to do the boss mechanic. And I learned last time to focus the trash, but I have to do the mechanic, kind of space out a little bit, run over here, do the affix because I'm a paladin, and then get back on the ads. So I don't know. It's kind of a lot this week with the affix. I'm looking forward to whatever next week is, even though it's going to be tyrannical. And that is pretty much the review for the week. Still doing keys probably, but we do time the 24 with many deaths, but we still time it. And it's been a fun week. Haven't been tanking as much. I think I want to start tanking a little bit more. Prot's really good. But overall, I feel pretty confident redding. And want to get better at healing. I've got good gear now. And we'll see how the progression goes for Mythic Plus healing if I can still keep up in the mid-20s. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.